Hi everyone, I'm Monalisha Thakur and this is Tummoc. So there's a very famous poem by Zakir Khan. It's called "मैं शून्य पे सवार हूँ." That's one of my favorite poems. It's like this that मैं शून्य पे सवार हूँ, अदब सा मैं खुमार हूँ, मैं मुश्किलों से क्या डरूँ, मैं बेअदब हजार हूँ, मैं शून्य पे सवार हूँ. So what it means is that when you are anyways at zero, then you don't only have two options in life. Either you will grow or you will not grow. That is something that I carry even now in my life, that it's okay even if I'm at zero. And no matter at what stage I am at my life, I consider myself to be at zero because that helps me in grounding my life, in giving me the forms to be, humble and grounded, to be able to learn new things and always be open with my ears and minds that there is always something new to learn and grow. As a kid, I was a very introvert child. I think my nickname is Moni, and it comes from Mon, which is silent. And I was a very silent kid. So that was the side of personality that kind of stays still. Also, when you are from a middle class family where financials, we had a lot of, I would say that the ethics were absolutely on point, but we had our set of financial struggles. There were people at home, they were not well, and to take care of everything together, to make sure that the whole family is put together and working towards the goal. Then at that point of time, I think I was hardly 6 or 7, but you get that responsibility that I have to basically give my 100% in everything that I'm doing. And responsibility actually came very early in my childhood. I just knew that I had to do it by myself. Doing it by myself was not only for me, but to make sure that the whole family is also benefited out of it. I can give my parents a better life, my young sister a better life, my family a better, life too. So in school, again, I was a very silent kid. But with the changes that happened back at home, right? I think the more I started, becoming responsible, so that definitely showed in my academics and all that. I was a good student. After my 12th, when I, shifted to Allahabad for my engineering, still at that time, it was pretty much comfortable. It was pretty much, I would say, hit and miss kind of environment where I was, there was family available. The main challenge, or I would say, change happened when I shifted to Bangalore to do my MBA in Alumni University, because the other two places before that was a small town, and coming to a metropolitan city is like a big cultural shock, right? Where you're absolutely on your own. And being absolutely on your own is both exciting as well as it is a very responsible aspect of your life as well. Exciting because, and then thrilling, I would also say, because just like any other teenager or somebody who's basically growing, it was a good feeling to be away from the family, to basically be at a place where nobody knows you and you can do things whatever you want at your own. And that's why a little bit scary too, but it also came with a responsibility that there's a lot of trust, that my family has put on me, to basically sending me all the way from Patna to Bangalore to do my studies. And I have to do it right. When I say I have to do it right, that means not only my studies, but also my work. Another thing that I mentioned, I think earlier, was about the factor called Shunya, the power of zero. That definitely helped me in coming to a place like Alliance. It was basically to keep me very humble and grounded. Also, I think in Alliance, I was again a kid who was not someone who was very known. I would say was again my personality outside was an introvert person. I think except my classmates, I would say that there were hardly few people who were knowing me. I was not a visible kid. You can put it like that. But yeah, when it comes to my work, I was always the someone, and I think I've always been the person who basically, when the camera is on, then I have to go and do the work. A lot of great memories are from Alliance. I think one of the first few very good friends who still continue to be my friends after schooling, they are still from Alliance, and it's always a very humbling experience to go back to the alma mater and see that this is where it all started. In my MBA first year, and my parents were with an accident. I lost a mother in that. And my father was bedridden for almost a year. So I was in the middle of my internship, and I had to take 3 months of break, and I came back. That kind of did another 180-degree transformation for me. But yeah, it was because of the support of my friends there in Alliance, and or definitely the support of the teachers. I think by the end of the second year, I was a 3-pointer, if I remember. I even received a letter of appreciation. So that was a different journey. Out of all the memories, this is something which is very special. Because in Allahabad, I was still closer to my home. But here I was, I was not. So basically I was here and creating my own space and creating my own home, creating my own personality, absolutely with no one, known around you. So I remember in my school also, I think I was in 10th, 11th standard. We organized our we were giving farewell to the seniors. That was first in the school. And we were running out, short of money. So we went to the principal and we said, we want money. And he asked why you want it. And then we said, because we want the next year, the students to give us to us. So that's why, pretty much clear. Then I still remember he gave us a 20K check, but still that was not sufficient. So what we did, I came up with the idea that why don't we have this gaming competition, for the kids. And I think that was subconscious in my first pitching, where I went to all the classes, the small kids also, and they said, hey, there's an opportunity. You take this 1 rupee cup ticket, and then the winner will get, the first prize was camera, the second prize was some games, like that, stuff like that. And then we did the competition, and we actually, our budget was to basically get another 10K. We actually got I think 25 to 30K, if I'm not wrong. So we achieved 30, I think 3x of the target that we wanted to achieve. And then, we did it very well. The event came out to be very well. So yeah, that basically gave me the kick that, okay, I actually started quite young. I did not know about it. So yeah, that was the first incident of having that sense of doing business, which you basically do subconsciously, because the idea was to just, collect the money and do a farewell session, a good one for the seniors. The fun part is that recently I met with one of the kids. Maybe he was a junior at that time, and how he recognized me was that, oh, you are the one who did that, and I did not get a camera. And I was like, oh my God, you guys still remember it? It's like, yeah, your pitching was that good. It made me buy 10 tickets. So he spent his entire month pocket money on that. I definitely felt the guilt. But yeah, I mean, it was a good, memory. In my MBA, I was a marketing major and operations minor. In my heart, I always knew that, I'm going to get into sales because it's exciting for me. It's something that I would want to do because it's basically my own responsibility. I have to articulate things in my head and, pitch in. And I have done pitches, and that school thing was there fresh in my mind that, okay, I've done it before. I think I can do it again. If you ask anyone who's from the sales, consider it one of the toughest place to, start, or the best place to learn sales, they will tell you about HCL Tech, Infosystems, because it was a tough nut to crack. That's also a part where my, a lot of bus journey started, where I used a lot of BMTC buses to travel across the city for the sales calls and all, what you call cold calls. What I used to do was to take these buses. So we'll reach office at 8:30. By 8:45, we have to be out of office. We'll just select one tech park. So I think all the tech parks of Bangalore and all the industrial areas are actually covered by foot. And I say by foot, literally by foot, because I never had the luxury of a vehicle. And it was fun. Like, you just put a dupatta on your face and you just walk with a bag of yours. And that's how I used to do. So that was a very big, humbling learning experience, because I never tried to basically say that, hey, I'm a girl, so, be lean on me. No, I was always very clear that just because I'm a female, I do not want this to come in front. It should be my strength. And the whole career, I started from HCL, then I joined AMX, then Harman. Then Harman was later acquired by Samsung. Then I joined Crestron, then Christie, and all the companies that I worked, all these OEMs. Basically, it covers the entire nugget of AV space. In all these respected companies also, my job was to establish a whole, ecosystem in itself, right? And that again, basically amped up my fire of doing things on my own and taking my own responsibility and creating a whole ecosystem, along with the thought process of, being able to take risk, that all of these companies are very different from each other. So I never basically thought twice when I was changing, even though I was very comfortable with respected companies that I worked for. was the fact that I wanted to do something new and I create something new. So public transport has always been a very important part of my life, and that actually accelerated further when I basically came to Bangalore and started working with BMTC buses and limited source of income. Right, there were days when I had uh, to basically to catch an 8:30 a.m. flight. I'm supposed to be, at the bus stop at 4 o'clock, hoping and praying that a bus comes in like 15 minutes. Right, then only I'll be able to take. The only thing that is that point of time is concerning the person who has a very sensitive pocket. I would put it like that. You cannot afford to take cabs, so you have to take BMTC buses, and you can just wait and pray hard to basically make sure that your bus comes on time, right? And you reach at the airport on time. All of us have gone through the drill. But sometimes what we usually do is basically we put it at the back of our head. We basically accept it as a part of our life, day-to-day life. And that was something that even I had accepted. And basically, for me specifically, the final nail in the coffin was that I was anyways traveling a lot, and it was I think around 8 years back, I was expecting, my daughter, and I used to take a lot of metro, from my office. My office was in MJ Road at that time. So from MJ Road to Baipanhalli, I used to take the metro. And from there, it was very easy. I had to walk to the metro station and, basically get into the metro. Here, it was difficult because from Baipanhalli, I used to stay in Kasturag. It was like 2.5 kilometers. So that was the real drill, right? From there to take an auto to reach. And every day while going also, there was a constant hassle. The autos will come and they'll just tell you any random number, that whatever comes to their mind. And especially looking at my condition, they knew that this lady is going to take auto. So if it's hardly 2.5 kilometers, so ideally you should get $40. So he will just say for 500 rupees. I basically, got down at Baipanhalli, and there's all these folks. They just, they were all around me and they were negotiating. Somebody was selling 100 rupees, 200, 300, whatever. And then I said, why you do this every day with me? Why do you do everything every day? You do this to me. It's very near, right? So just take whatever it takes. I'm tired. I want to go home and rest. So one of the guys, he said, oh, it's so near. Why don't you walk? And that kind of like, okay, fine, I'll walk today. So that day I walked 2.5 kilometers. It's a normal 2.5 kilometers for someone like you and me, but if someone is expecting and the whole bag is gone, it was a tiring journey. It was a long journey. I remember my whole back was paining and I was crying my whole way. But you know what I realized? In the whole walking of that 2.5 kilometers, I saw a lot of fellow guys who were walking along with me. And I realized that I'm not the only one who's walking. And then the question was why they're walking. And then, I started talking to people around me and I realized that, they had the same hassle, at least looking at me, I had an add-on. So that was a constant struggle for them on a daily basis. That they had no option but to travel, to walk 2.5 kilometers, which was, okay, considered to be a healthy option, but not at the middle of the night when, it's not very safe also. And the point was that there was no other option. So as a commoner of the country, we always take these things with a pinch of salt and, basically sit with your friends and crib about it and forget it, right? And that was what I realized, that all of us were walking and I was not the only one, A. And second thing was, they were just accepted it. And I don't know why. Third, and obviously I was also a part of that thing. I was like, why? Why people are cool with it? And then this was followed by a couple of more incidents. Hiranmay, who's my life partner as well as a fellow co-founder as well, got hospitalized twice. And again, the hospital was 1.5, 2 kilometers. The Olas and Ubers were not accepting. It was too near. They were not earning money out of it. Autos were not ready to go. That poor guy had to drive because I didn't know how to drive. So he was puking and I was driving. He had dengue at that time. He was puking and driving because he had to reach. And then for me, my daughter was at home 5.5, 6 months. So I had to take care of him at the hospital and then come back and feed the baby and then go back. And I had to do it at least 4 to 5 times in a day. It was terrible. I remember he was on his bed, and I said, you know what, Hiranmay, I can't do this anymore. Let's do something about it. So this is how biker was, born. The job was biker was to basically give the only first and last mile. So it was not like Ola and Uber, which was into mile to, point to point. It was only for the first and last mile. So that problem is solved. So we did beta at Bangalore, we did beta at Hyderabad, we did beta at Kolkata. Like you reach at the bus stop and you have to reach your home. So it was only for that 2.5 to 4 kilometers distance. So we onboarded around 8,000 bikes and autos across the city. We used to sit into the autos and then write forms. I have done all that. Fill the forms and get the guy onboarded. Give him a phone and tell them you will get this thing, and then the guy is gonna come and take the order, and then you start the ride. Because of the work that we got a lot of accolades from Startup Karnataka, getting the best startup award from the Startup Karnataka. We also were runner-ups at Startup India 2020, the first startup awards from the government of India by Mr. Narendra Modi. And we also got a lot of grants. The Bangalore Metro, BMTC, Metro in Hyderabad. There were a lot of these events where they were giving money, to people to come up with a solution and then basically help them in the first and last mile. So that was also the time when a lot of first and last mile players came in. Even the Ola and Uber, they also got into this first and last mile space because they realized, oh, this is also an add-on money that they're gonna get. So 2018, and we realized that by God's grace we're getting a lot of grants. Definitely competing with giants like Olas and Ubers and Rapido was not something very easy for us also, right? It's like you whatever you are getting, you're burning basically. So and this is where I'm telling you the realization of you should know when you have to pivot, right? It's very important that as a entrepreneur also you should definitely be attached to your product, be very sentimental about it, but you should also see how the market is moving. Otherwise you'll die. So we started thinking about it by the mid of 2018, and by 2019 end we already had a product in mind, and I think by that time we are already. So then you think that, okay, what is the add-on that we can do? Because this is good, this is great, but where are we going? So first thing is that we decided was that where we want to go. We want to be an ops company or we want to be a product company. Because what we're doing, that was absolutely ops. You have to manage the supply and demand, right? Ops is definitely where you need a lot of money and a lot of investments also coming in. But when you talk about coexisting, then that is not the place, because they're already the giants like Olas and Ubers and all that. So instead of fighting with them, why don't you create your own niche wherever everybody can coexist? And that is where that was a time, we working with all these STs, we already had a decent data of public transport in all these big cities, right? I think that is also the time when we also got to know that we did our research and we realized that we don't have a mass application like a super app, which is something which is prevalent in outside India. Like you go to Singapore, US, you will have these mass applications like Move It, Transit, City Mappers, where you have all the information of public transport in one place. Where you can know that where is a bus, and we don't had anything like that in our country. So we said, okay, why don't we become a mass? India's first mass application ever like this. Where everybody, like the public players and the private players like Ola and Uber, can also come and coexist, where the user will benefit it, like you and me. Like I don't have to go to 5 apps. I just need one, where I have my public transport tickets, I have my first, and I have Rapido's tickets, I have Olas and Ubers of the world, and the single payment platform. I don't have to again switch, and my work is done. And this is how Tummoc was formed. Tummoc is a reverse of the word commute. So if you reverse the word commute, -e, it becomes Tummoc. This is the history or story behind the term Tummoc. When we started with Bangalore and Kolkata, but that was a time when COVID happened, and everybody was at home. And again, the third part of being an entrepreneur is where you have to be very resilient. Like you should know the reason why you started. And right now, 75 million daily travelers public transport travelers across the India, right? This is the number. 75 million people daily travel using public transport all across our country. Now, another thing is money, right? You need funds. Very important aspect of entrepreneurship. We are all from middle class family, and that's one of the big challenges that we feel whenever we want to start something is how will the daily thing work. We started planning towards it. Hiranmay and Narayan, they decided to take the complete plunge where I was, basically at the back supporting them. I was into sales, so I was able to earn money, incentives, and use that money to take care of the family. I had a small kid at home as well, and continuously pump the money for the company as well. So like that, I did. I managed the finances of the company for 4.5 years. I basically, so whatever I was earning, let's say X amount, so I'll put, let's say 30K for home and other expenses, and the rest everything I used to put to the company. I did that for 4.5 years. So this is how we were able to keep the company afloat, and that included the COVID as well. And by God's grace, even though it was COVID, I was able to do my numbers. So we were able to feed the team, and everyone. But again, the question came was, "Abhi kya karna hai?" if there anything happens, right? They say no. When life gives you lemon, you make a lemonade out of it. So we took that as an opportunity, and we said that okay, we are doing Tummoc, right? Why don't we do it grand? And how we're going to do it grand? We'll work on the tech right now. We'll use this time to work on the tech to create a patent, right? So that we'll get the technology, the product verified by the best brains of the country and the world. Now, if you see in a patent also, if you basically take a patent, it is basically validated globally that if there is anything like that done ever. And I'm really proud to tell you that we are the first in India to have this transit. And with this, patent that we have right now with us, which we basically, wrote at that time. So it was the brainchild of Narayan, and, mostly Narayan and then Hiram is supporting. I was just the cheering person, basically making them sure that they get ample of food at the time and they're working. Other than that, I didn't have much contribution, I should tell you. But yeah, we filed the patent and it was granted. The first, I think the only patent in India, I would put it like that right now in the transit space. And right now, as we are talking, we have also filed the same patent across the globe too. And so that this product of what we have, we're going to take it to the global markets too. So this is where, so this time kind of helped us in turning things around. As I said that, when you are at zero, then you have to take, and something comes in front of you, you have to decide what you want to do with it. So we decided to basically use it for our growth for the product. And that's how the whole tech of what you see right now with 3 million users was born. Just after COVID, we got our investment. Our first investor put money. He trusted in what we are doing, and I was just waiting for that to happen. So another 1 year, I continued with my work, and 2021 is when I joined the company, because now I knew that the company is self-sufficient and the money is there, and then I can come now. So yeah, I waited for another 1 year, and 2021 I joined. When I joined, we had around 10,000 users, and I think now as I'm talking to you, we have 3 million users across 21 cities in India. We have ticketing in BMTC Bangalore right now, passes as well. We also have Delhi bus ticketing. We are currently working on integrating the metros as well for both these cities. Along with that, we also have, for the same first and last mile, we have taken the best from the industry. We have Rapido on the platform across all the 21 cities in India, where you can, as a public transport user, you don't have to really walk 2.5 kilometers. You can just take a bike or an auto with the help of Rapido. And it's on an app application, so you don't have to go to Rapido. It's inside the app. Again, I would say the first in the country, something that we are very proud of. For cabs, we have Quick Ride currently on the platform. Wherever Quick Ride is live, in all the cities that they are. We realize it's just not the city where you are having the problem. You basically are facing this problem of first and last mile and other things across the city also, across the countries too, right? So why not we basically start scaling up ourselves in that? So with that, now we are also launching intercity applications in collaboration with Redbus. So yeah, this is where we are right now.